Welcome back to the Double A podcast. I'm Aiden Hammond.
And I'm Aditya Shaw.
And today we have kind of a lot of stuff to go through. So some of the segments are going to be a little shorter. And Aditya is on vacation Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah,
we
so
usually record Saturdays.
Yeah, we won't be putting up a new episode necessarily. Like, we won't be recording a new episode next week, but we'll probably pre-record one. That's just sort of fun segment or whatever.
Yeah, it'll probably be a little shorter.
Yeah, this week we'll mainly try to cover news, and then the week when we get back,
we'll have like 2 weeks to cover.
Yeah, so we'll cover news then, and then the one where I'm gone, we'll just pre-record a segment or something.
Yeah. So first off, Carmelo Anthony. First few games.
Honestly,
Carmelo Anthony's bad at basketball.
Better than I thought he would do.
He is exactly what I thought he was doing.
No, because he put up that 18-point game
on 40% from the field. That is a classic Carmelo Anthony Thunder/Rockets game.
But I was expecting him to have a game where he put up like 6 points on like 1 of 10 from the field, and this is an upgrade.
Technically, yeah.
18 points, dude.
18 points is. Yeah, technically an upgrade. It's hard to argue with that.
Exactly.
I got Carmelo on my fantasy team.
And there was one game where he had less fantasy points than he had actual points.
Yeah, I dropped Zion for him because Zion wasn't coming back. And then somebody picked him up. Aditya picked him up, I think.
I dropped him immediately.
And then he dropped him immediately, so I dropped Dario Saric to get Zion back. So
wait, you still
that was a close one. Yeah.
Oh.
He's still good for like 12 points. Sometimes.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, Wiggins fan.
Hey, Wiggins is balling. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I think that's about all I have for Carmelo.
Yeah, he's not very good.
He's not good, but he's pretty much all the Trailblazers have right now because C.J. McCollum is somehow worse.
And he's played well the past few games without Dame.
Yeah.
He had that one, 36-point game or whatever.
Now, let's talk about LeBron James. One of the greatest players of all time. Greatest living player right now.
Living? Most players are living.
Well, no, I mean highest ranking all-time player that is in the NBA right now, right?
Yeah.
He now has
triple-double against every team.
Triple-double against every NBA team. And I'm just going to preface this by saying, if Russell Westbrook had played for anybody but the Thunder in the last couple of years, he would have a triple-double against every single team.
Yeah.
He's going to get one as soon as he plays the Thunder.
They've already played the Thunder, haven't they?
Have they?
Russell Westbrook's also not posting up a triple-double every game anyway.
That's true. He's actually doing what I was hoping he would do, and just letting James Harden run that offense.
Yeah.
So, LeBron James, this is an insane accomplishment. This is crazy.
I will admit the triple-doubles have been easier to get in the past few seasons.
Yeah, but that doesn't diminish the, it's still a crazy statistical achievement. It's, getting one is crazy. Lance Stevenson, I think in 2014 had 5 triple-doubles and he led the league.
Because he's a god.
He sucks.
Lance, make him dance.
He sucks. So congratulations to LeBron James. That's a record that's, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's there's just no, it's crazy. It's like seeing somebody get 100 points in a game. It's just such a sustained period of dominance.
I've done that before.
Score 100 points?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
2K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year, my sharpshooter had 140 in a game. I set it on rookie, 12-minute quarters. Good day. Good day.
Yeah. Luka.
He's been hooping.
Doncic. The donk. The centerpiece of pretty win-win trade, I'd say, for both teams, even though I think he's drastically better than Trae Young.
Drastically? You're on crack if you think drastically better.
Luka Doncic is an MVP candidate. He's probably the MVP right now. Trae Young's like an all-star.
That doesn't make him drastically better. LeBron's not drastically better than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, he is.
Not drastic. He's better, but I wouldn't say
he is Luka Doncic is in a different league than Trae Young.
You're on crack.
No, you
are
better.
Literally
he's way better.
He's better, but different league.
Yeah,
that's like you're comparing Luka to Cody Zeller or something.
Cody's way better than Cody, or Luka's way better than Cody.
That's what I'm saying. That's like what you're comparing by saying he's leaps ahead of Trae Young.
This isn't disrespecting to Trae Young.
It kind of is, dude.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Look, Luka Doncic is an MVP. He is the MVP right now.
Yeah,
like there's no doubt about. There's no doubt in my mind that Luka Doncic, if this season ends today, Luka Doncic
leagues better than Trae Young, who's also putting up MVP caliber numbers.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Let's pull those numbers up.
I got him right here.
Okay.
Trae Young this season is averaging 26, 8.7, and 4.5 boards with 1.6 steals, shooting 35% from 3, 43.5% from the field, and 82.5% from the free throw line.
What's Luka dropping?
Hold on.
And the Hawks also aren't very good.
Yeah, but the Hawks team also... And John Collins has been out with suspension.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Luka's averaging 30, 10, and almost 10. So a 30-point triple-double, which is MVP, right?
Yeah.
But saying he's leagues
38
better...
and 4, or 26, 8, and 4 is not the same as 30,
I never said it's
10,
the same.
10.
Luka's better, right? Everyone can agree on that. But saying that is leagues better...
I think maybe we have different ideas of what leagues better is.
Right.
When I think of it, I think of like if somebody's a tier better, then they are a league ahead of them, and I think that Luka Doncic is in a completely different tier than Trae Young right now.
When I see your leagues better, I think you're comparing someone that's like top of the league to a role player.
Yeah, no, that's not what I was saying. I was saying that Luka Doncic is a tier 1 player right now, and Trae Young's like a tier 2 player.
That's fair.
Or maybe tier 3. Probably tier 3.
Probably tier 2.
Tier 2, really?
Yeah. He's an all-star. Playing like an all-star. Which I'd say is tier 2.
Is he going to start in the all-star game, though? I feel like
that's
who...
I mean...
I feel like that. Like, I feel like first-team All-NBA is tier 1. Tier 2 is, like, starting in the all-star game. Second or third team All-NBA. And then third tier is in the all-star game.
Well, if you start in the all-star game, I guess you're first and second team All-NBA. Theoretically.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Theoretically.
So I guess, like, second tier is third team All-NBA.
I don't know. I'm saying Trae Young is slightly not as good as Luka Doncic.
I don't know. I think that's... I think that Luka is better.
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Pretty clearly better.
Right.
Like, I think that
everyone
there's really
agrees
even an
with
argument
that.
you could make.
No one's making an argument.
Which is why I don't think that you could say that Trae Young is like on the level.
I never said he was. I'm saying he's worse, but saying leagues is different from slightly worse.
Yeah. Okay. That was a bad segment. Ben Simmons
hit a 3.
Hit a 3-pointer for the first time since in like a game since
college,
since he was in LSU. Like it was like 1,451 days or something absurd. That is ridiculous. That is pathetic. He should not be celebrated for this.
He should, because
the fact that it took him this long is honestly disgusting. It's an affront to the game.
Oh my.
No, I'm kidding. But it is really lame that we're celebrating this. Like it took him way too long.
Dude. It's a meme.
He was like Rudy Gobert, but he didn't have he's not as good of a defender.
That's why it's a meme. Because he can do everything but shoot. And he made one. Look at that. It took him 3 seasons and he did it.
It took way too long. He is a point guard. Even Magic Johnson made a 3 before Ben Simmons did, and I don't think the 3-point line even existed until Magic's 5th year.
Well, then he didn't make one before Ben did, because he wouldn't have had one for his first 5 years. Ben Simmons
but
it
it starts the 3-point line has existed for Ben's entire career. So if we're going by that, then the 3 years after it was invented for Magic, he had 3 years to make one. Ben Simmons also had 3 years to make one. I think Magic Johnson made one in probably the first or second year that they had it.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's still pretty funny. It's still pretty funny.
It's funny, but it's kind of pathetic. Let's talk about Victor Oladipo.
He did full practice with no restrictions, which is good because timetable was for him to come back close to near the end of January. It's looking like it.
That makes me feel a little better. I was hoping that Victor Oladipo would not be back in December.
Well, he's playing in the G League right now.
He is?
Yeah. Set to recover.
I thought that was not supposed to take place for a couple more weeks.
No, they sent him down already.
I thought he was just practicing with them.
He's practicing with the full team, I'm pretty sure. Unless I read it wrong.
He's playing for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants right now?
I don't know. Don't quote me. I thought I saw a thing that said he was sent down to the G League. I don't know if he's played a game with them yet, but he'll be playing with them soon if he hasn't already. Because he's doing full contact practice now with no restrictions. So he should be set to go play in the G League for a few games soon if he hasn't already.
Yeah.
Then he'll be back soon.
Yeah, I was hoping that he would not come back in December. Because I want a healthy Victor Oladipo over a 80% Victor Oladipo. And I don't want him to re-injure his... Because this is a thing that there is a I feel like this seems... From what I've heard, there's a pretty significant re-injury risk, right?
But that's how it is with any leg injury.
Yeah, but this is a really bad one.
Quad? It could be worse.
Could it?
Yeah. If you tear something in your knee, that's significantly worse. Because then it's like
he's out about the same amount of time as he would have been if he had torn his ACL or something.
Right.
I guess if he had torn his patellar, that would be worse. Because isn't that what Andre Roberson had?
He hasn't played.
He hasn't played in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Poor Roberson.
But the thing with ACL injuries is that if you come back, the chance of you playing at the level that you played at before is significantly lower. With this type of injury, Victor Oladipo's out for a while, but he still can come back and play close to form.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought that it was the opposite.
Because especially with him, when he has athleticism, your knees are super important for that. So at least it's not his knee injury.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
He'll be back soon, and that's good.
I don't know, but will he be back at All-Star form?
Probably not right away. He hasn't played back. I think it'll be the same thing that happened with with Gordon Hayward, where.
That is not good.
No, where he what I mean is because
Hayward.
Because he only has half the season left, half the season of playing mediocre, and then by the next season he returns hopefully to form.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's obviously going to take some on-court time to actually fully get back to form. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But rebounding off that, actually, I forgot this wasn't anything we had written down for this episode. But DeMar DeRozan trade talks. Pacers are contenders right now for DeMar.
That would make my year if we got DeMar DeRozan.
Problem is I think we would either have to trade Domantas Sabonis or Miles Turner. I'd rather trade Domantas Sabonis.
I'd rather trade Miles Turner.
Really?
Domantas Sabonis, going into the season, I still don't really get we have a friend who hates Miles Turner.
Yeah.
And
but that's because he doesn't play like a combination of Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. I did not feel the same way. I thought that Miles Turner was probably a little more important. However,
he's just getting injured a lot.
Domantas Sabonis has been playing like a man with... He's been playing like a man with his ass on fire the last couple weeks. He's averaging like 20 and 13.
Yeah.
Let's pull up his... Hold on, we're going to pull up his season averages. He is playing like a monster. He should get significant All-Star consideration if he keeps this up.
Right now, he's averaging 19 points, 13 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 0.7 blocks, 0.5 steals, and he's shooting 51.4%. No, that's just 2 points. Sorry. Almost 50% from the field, 31% from three, and 85.5% from free throw.
Yeah,
so pretty good numbers.
Those are all-star numbers. I mean, really. Borderline all-star numbers. Maybe if he had...
I'd have to see how Blake plays.
13 rebounds is all-star. That's an all-star rebound amount. If he can get up to like 22 or 23 points a game.
Yeah, if he increases his points, that's all-star. That's why I want to trade Domantas Sabonis now, because we have Miles Turner locked down. DeMar DeRozan's on the last year of his contract. If he wants to stay, we got to pay him. Victor Oladipo isn't locked down forever. He's also on part of a contract. Domantas Sabonis is a free agent next season. So
we just gave him that extension.
Oh yeah, we did give him an extension, didn't we? Never mind, trade Miles Turner, my bad.
Yeah, Domantas Sabonis is on a 4-year extension.
I forgot about that. I forgot because I was complaining so much about it when it happened.
Yeah, same. I was too, also doing that.
So then trade Miles Turner. I recant my statement.
Yeah. No, Miles Turner is probably the best shot blocker in the game right now besides Rudy Gobert. I think.
John Isaac's averaging 3 blocks a game almost.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaacs. We'll get to Jonathan Isaacs.
Yeah, he's balling out.
Crazy.
But
did you see he almost had a 5x5 game? He was like a block off or a steal off from a 5x5.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
People were writing him off as a bust. I like John Isaac. Maybe it's just because his card last year in 2K was a glitch, but
he's on my fantasy team, and he's got like 30 points a night.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to DeMar.
I hope the Pacers should get him.
I don't think DeMar DeRozan fits in Nate McMillan's offense. I'll say it right now.
He can't fit in Pop's offense because he can't play defense at all.
Yeah. Although the Pacers do take a lot of mid-range jump shots, and they don't take a ton of threes, and that's DeMar DeRozan's biggest strength and biggest weakness.
But that's also bad because we need a few three-point shooters to compensate for DeMar's lack.
Games. Malcolm Brogdon can pop the three. Domantas Sabonis has improved. He can pop it if he needs to. Victor Oladipo can pop the three.
Mm-hmm. And DeMar DeRozan's also increased. Like, he's gotten a lot better at playmaking.
Better. Aaron Holiday can pop the three.
Yeah.
Justin Holiday can pop the three. Dougie McBuckets can pop the three.
DeMar DeRozan has improved his playmaking, too. So
T.J. Warren can pop the three.
T.J. Warren's...
And that's the other thing.
T.J. Warren's so streaky, though. He'll shoot...
He's really not.
He is, though. He'll have a game where he shoots well and has, like, a 20... Here's what'll happen, because I have him on my fantasy team, so I know this. He'll have a game where he pops off for, like, 24 points. And then he'll have 2 games where he's okay for, like, 15. And then he'll have a game where he has, like, 3 points. And I was like, what are you doing now?
Yeah, but he's had more good games than bad games this year.
Yeah, but that's not a good thing for your second option.
Like, how does that Pacers... And that's the other thing, is how does that Pacers lineup work with DeMar DeRozan? Like,
I'd have him running at point. He's increased his playmaking so much.
DeMar DeRozan at the point guard over Malcolm Brogdon. Are you high?
Malcolm Brogdon can run the 2.
You're smoking crack.
Dude, no, DeMar DeRozan's increased his playmaking so much.
Better playmaker. I want Malcolm Brogdon as my playmaker.
Okay,
10
sure.
out of, like,
then run DeMar at the 3
if you give me 10
and
different point guards to run the point, Malcolm Brogdon is probably... Or 10 different, like, non-point guard playmakers to run the point. I'm probably taking Malcolm Brogdon, like, a few of those times. You know, obviously Luka and LeBron and those guys, but Malcolm Brogdon is one of those guys that can, like, he is great.
You could also put DeMar at the 3 and have T.J. Warren come off the bench.
Or put T.J. at the, like, because we're going to have to get rid of Miles Turner, right? So, Brogdon...
I don't want DeMontis at the 5.
Brogdon... Are you kidding me?
He'll get bodied.
Domantas Sabonis has played the 5.
I thought he's been playing the 4. He's been guarding the other team's 4s.
This season, I think he has been... No, I think he's been playing the 5 when he starts.
But he guards the other team's 4s.
When he comes off the bench, he plays the 5. Or the 5, yeah. He's a natural 5.
But Domantas Sabonis isn't going to come off the bench. Especially if we trade Miles Turner.
No, I know, but when he came off the bench last year, right?
Right.
He played the 5.
But I'm more worried about him on defense. If he's guarding other 5s... He's not going to be a good
defender anyway, though.
Well, yeah, but playing against bigger 5s, I'm worried about that. That's my whole problem.
I mean...
Because when you get rid of Miles Turner and add DeMar DeRozan, your defense already falls considerably.
Well, what would that lineup look like? Malcolm Brogdon, great defender.
VO, when he comes back.
Victor Oladipo, first team or second team, all defensive team, all defense.
DeMar
DeRozan, who couldn't guard a brown paper bag if he was trying.
TJ
Warren, who's
a little undersized
for the
defender. 4, but he's alright.
Yeah.
And then
Domas, who obviously also don't think could defend his brown paper bag.
Yep.
Not
great defensively.
Not a great defensive team. Off the bench, though, let's say that this gets done around the trade deadline. That would make...
Well, we have to definitely trade some bench pieces. At least one.
Who would it be, though? T.J. McConnell, Justin Holiday, Aaron Holiday, Edmund Sumner.
I don't want to trade Aaron Holiday. He's been playing well the past few games.
I don't want to either, but I'd like to have DeMar DeRozan.
Do you think, and this is Pop, hear me out here, Doug McDermott, sharpshooter.
Really well.
Dude, take out Miles Turner.
No,
dude, take out Miles Turner. He's not in the trade anymore. Oh. Doug McDermott,
already
sniper.
Bad.
T.J. McConnell, hard over height.
I really like T.J. McConnell.
And then 2 first-round picks do DeMar DeRozan.
That's not the worst trade I've ever heard.
Doug McDermott, T.J. McConnell, and 2 firsts for DeMar DeRozan is not a bad trade. They should really consider
That's not a bad trade. Honestly.
Yes, it is.
That is not the worst one I've ever heard.
You're taking 2 below-average role players and 2 first-round picks for DeMar DeRozan.
Obviously, I love this trade in retrospect. But at the time, the Paul George trade was kind of ridiculous because it was like, okay, 2 role players for this like
but they
MVP
were 2
MVP.
at least average, slightly above average role players.
McDermott.
He is a
TJ McConnell.
They are
both
below average role players.
That is not true.
That is facts.
TJ McConnell. Have you watched a single Pacers game this year?
Yes.
TJ McConnell is good.
He's okay.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. TJ McConnell is good.
He's all right.
TJ McConnell runs that offense really well off the bench. He's the toughest player on the court always. He's like an old school. He's like an old school like 19. Like he would have probably run the point for the Celtics championships teams. Like he's good.
Yeah, but this isn't the 1900s. This is closer to 2020. And you don't need that in 2020. You do. You just need players that can score. If you have that advantage,
if you have that that's first of all, that's completely ludicrous, honestly.
No, literally, in this decade of basketball, you just need players that can put the ball in the basket efficiently. That's all you need.
No.
To win games.
You're objectively wrong.
Dude, no, it's facts.
Every team that has won the championship in the last couple of years has had a good defense. The Warriors had a good defense.
Well,
they also
it helps
probably
when you
didn't need to have
they
defense,
didn't need
but they
one.
had one. Like, defense definitely helps.
It helps, but it's not a necessity. A lot of times
a lot
of times that's the reason games go to like 130 points.
You really just said defense is not a necessity.
It's really there's
a
reason.
Greg Popovich, please.
The Spurs are trash right now. They've won like 5 games this season.
The Spurs have won 5 championships in 20 years.
Right now, they are not playing.
They won one in 2014.
Right now. I'm talking about right now.
2014 was 5 years ago.
I'm not talking about 5. I'm talking about this season and the past season.
This season, you still need a good defense.
Yeah, but
I'm
talking about like the past like 2
seasons.
That's
why they're the best team. That's part of the reason why they're the best team in the league.
Aren't they second best?
What, behind the Celtics?
Yeah.
The Celtics also have a good defense.
Right. I'm saying a good defense helps, but it's like it's more important to have a good offense than a good defense. If you like, I think that's accurate. And going to the 2020s, you need a good offense more than a good defense.
You need both.
Yeah.
Because if you have a good defense, you can stop a good offense.
Right, but if you have a good offense, you can score over a good defense.
That is not true.
Yeah.
2004 Lakers, they had a pretty good offense. And
okay, you're talking about something that's almost 20 years ago. You know how much games changed since then?
What about Houston? Houston had a pretty good offense last year, but the Warriors' defense shut them down.
But Houston's also just relies on James Harden not sucking, and he tends to suck in the playoffs.
And that's not really true.
Yeah, I mean, he just is super. He's just super inefficient, and compared to what he does in the regular season, he just doesn't hold. Like they won games in the regular season because James Harden was consistently dropping 40 a night. If he doesn't do that, they are not as good of a team. And when James Harden doesn't do that, they lose a lot. So when he goes into the playoffs, is shooting worse, isn't putting up the points.
The only time the good offense over good defense works is if it is a drastically better offense. Like the 2017 Warriors, the Cavs didn't stand a chance because the Cavs had a fine defense and the Warriors had maybe the greatest offense of all time.
Kevin Durant to a team that was already a championship team.
Exactly.
That tends to. Oh my.
Snake ass bitch.
That's intense.
Okay, let's move on from DeMar because we kind of got off on a tangent there. Andre Drummond. Trade rumors.
To the Hornets. Or they were interested in him in the 2020
He can
free
rebound
agency.
For all of Terry Rozier's missed shots.
Yeah.
Perfect. Match made in heaven. Right?
I mean, that's a good point. If Andre Drummond wants to miss the playoffs, go to the Hornets.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that's really fair to the Hornets. The Hornets are 6-11 right now.
You say that like it's good in the East.
It is a good thing in the East. It is good to be 6-11.
In the East, it's good, but the way you say that, it's like I should be impressed or something.
You should be impressed. Everybody should be impressed that the Hornets are 6-11, 17 games in. Right?
It's good for the Hornets, but the way you said it was like, can you believe it? They're 6.
Can you? Honestly, if I told you at this point in the season, almost 20 games in, that the Hornets would not be that far behind being 500, you would have
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't believe it.
You would be like, oh, maybe they're like 3-14 at best. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't believe it.
Right?
It's just funny the way you said it. That's all. Oh, bless you.
First inaugural podcast, first podcast sneeze. I got it. You didn't. Suck it.
I actually have never sneezed before. So.
Honestly, is this really a big deal? Like,
Andre Drummond's a pretty good player.
Andre Drummond's
He's pretty good at basketball.
Borderline all-star.
Bro, hot take, episode 2. Andre Drummond's pretty good at basketball. Just like last episode, we said James Harden was good at basketball. That's today's hot take.
Each episode, we're gonna name a guy who's good at basketball.
Today is Andre Drummond. I think he's pretty good at basketball.
Andre Drummond, good at basketball.
Yep. I think that's fair.
Controversial?
There's definitely it could go 50-50.
Specifically, our other friend that thinks Miles Turner sucks probably also thinks that Andre Drummond sucks.
Yeah, probably. Because he's also not a combination of Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, that's true.
So
he rebounds a lot, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this wouldn't make the Hornets good.
No. It would be...
Andre Drummond has to have a very specific... Like, if Andre Drummond went to the Warriors, he'd be a god.
Yeah.
Just rebounding for Steph and Clay.
Healthy Warriors, not this season's Warriors.
Yeah, not this.
Oh, my. But, yeah. It's not really important because the Hornets will probably still suck.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's the Hornets could
Maybe
win.
it'll be like an 8 seed.
Hey, now they can give that max contract to Andre Drummond instead of Nicholas Batum. You know, it's definitely, it's an upgrade from Bismack Biyombo and Cody Zeller.
Oh, man. Those poor Hornets.
Devontae Graham's been playing well. He's like third in the league or tied for second in the league for most threes made this season. I think he's second or third. I can't remember. So he's a bright spot. Malik Monk, he's got some highlights.
Monk sucks.
No, he's got some highlights, dude.
Sucks.
He did a video on Instagram where he like jumped up for an alley-oop and his head went up to the rim. That's kind of cool.
Andrew Wiggins was doing that 3 years ago.
Hey, the Hornets can take their small victories, okay?
The Hornets have 6 victories in 17 games. That is impressive.
Yeah.
People were
mainly
I
because
saw
of
predictions
Devontae
of them
Graham.
going 12-70. So
yeah, I thought they would break the losses record this season,
and they're very clearly not going to do that.
Hey, they still can technically. Devontae Graham gets injured. Miles Bridges gets injured. That's lost season.
Terry Rozier running an NBA offense is a scary thought.
Yeah. I mean, he did it in that one playoff run that got him his $20 million a year
round
contract.
of the playoffs where he was good.
That got him $20 million.
$60 million.
Yeah.
Even after he was booty cheeks the year after he did that.
Yep. Just that.
So, one of the bigger pieces of news, Patrick Beverley is a rampant flopper. I don't know if you knew this.
But
it
just makes me really angry.
Rampant flopper. He is the defensive version of like 2013 LeBron James.
Yeah.
Really now LeBron James.
Yeah.
He is a flopper in the same way LeBron James is a flopper.
The annoying thing with me,
and it doesn't really help his team, like, because James Harden's a flopper, but it like also gets him like 20 points a game.
Yeah. But the annoying thing is how much he talks about how he's like the best defender in the league and all that stuff. And then you just see those clips of him just doing this bullshit.
I think Russell Westbrook exaggerated it, but I think he was kind of right.
Like, not to the extent that Russell Westbrook said it, but he does have.
I think that the media gives Patrick Beverley a little too much hype for being a great defender. Like,
I mean, he is a good defender.
He's good. He's one of those guys that, like, if the hand check rule is still around, he'd be a fucking god. Mm-hmm. Like, he'd average like a 5x5 every single game. Because he would just get so many steals. Like, he is like, if you told me that he played for the 2004 Detroit Pistons, I would be like, oh yeah, he probably did. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a time traveler. He's like, he
looks like he's that old. Honestly.
Yeah, if you showed me a picture of like the 2004 Detroit Pistons and you like photoshopped out like Chauncey Billups and replaced him with Patrick Beverley, I'd be like, this feels a little weird. But I feel like it might be right still. I'm not sure. Yeah. Like, he's that kind of defender. He's tough. He's small. He's gritty. But Russell Westbrook has every right to trash him every chance he gets because he ended Russell Westbrook's Iron Man streak. He changed his career pretty significantly. Mm-hmm. Like, Russell Westbrook misses games, like, fairly regularly now. Like, not a ton, but, like, he can still... Like, he went from playing 82 games a season to playing, like, 70.
Which is still good. The season's long.
Yeah. But Patrick Beverley...
needs to chill.
Yeah, he needs to relax on the flopping. It's hurting his team.
It's also just kind of like whack.
It's hurting his bag.
His reputation.
It's hurting his reputation.
Marcus Smart called him out.
Marcus Smart.
Well, he didn't call him out. He was asked
Marcus
about it.
Marcus Smart is the last person that deserves to call Patrick Beverley.
No, he didn't call him. He was asked about it, and he answered the question that, like, no disrespect to Patrick Beverley, but I'm on another level right now. Because he's been playing really well this
No. I meant, like, Marcus Smart is not this guy to call someone else out about flopping. Yeah.
I still remember a few years back, me and my family went on vacation, and I was with my cousins, and we were down in Florida. And it was like that night, the Houston Rockets-Celtics game was on, where Marcus Smart flopped on, like, the last 2 possessions of the game and gave the Celtics that lead. It was over winter break, like, 2 years ago. I don't know if you remember that game.
I don't, but I remember. I think I remember the flops. I don't think I watched that game.
James Harden was on offense. It was like the last few seconds of the game. The Rockets were inbounding the ball. Marcus Smart had like 2 clutch flops to give the Celtics the ball back.
Greatest flopper of all time.
And they won the game. And we were all going crazy.
Yeah. We haven't really seen a lot of flopping fines in the last couple of years.
But
because they don't really.
They need to be here.
They need to be.
If they
should use that a little more.
If they did flopping fines, James Harden lose like half his contract in a season. So
I don't think James Harden would care. I think James Harden gets a little too much hate for flopping. Honestly, like I follow a dude on Instagram who fucking hates James Harden, and I'm like, you're letting your bias get in the way a little bit.
The annoying thing is, I see the people that are talking about how he takes an insane amount of free throws, which he does.
He does, but he makes them.
But not even that. So I actually looked this up, and it was kind of crazy. In Kobe Bryant's 35 point per game season, he averaged 10 free throws a game.
I think Michael Jordan.
James Harden's 36 point per game season, he averaged 11 free throws a game. Michael Jordan's 37 point per game season, he averaged 12 free throws a game.
It is impossible. I think it's impossible to average 35 plus or even 33 plus points without at least 10 free throws.
Unless you're Will.
Unless you're Will.
But that's just because he was better than everyone, taller.
He was just significantly more physically gifted than everybody else on the court at all times.
But it was just and the way James Harden gets his fouls, I'm not the biggest fan of. But
I hate watching James Harden. I don't hate James Harden. I just don't like watching him because I think it's boring.
But it is effective. It wins games.
James Harden run out the shot clock, throw up a prayer, kick his leg out, like what Reggie Miller used to do.
Yeah.
But Reggie Miller didn't get that hate when he was doing that. Reggie Miller, when he was...
But that's because if he didn't do it, I think...
Reggie Miller used to kick his leg out, on every contested 3 he shot, and a lot of time he would get the call. He was a god at 4-point plays for, a lot of his career.
I think the problem people have with James Harden is that when you, watch him...
If social media existed in the 90s, Reggie Miller would have been hated the same way James Harden's hated. Actually, not the same way James.
Probably less.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the people are more angry at it because James Harden won an MVP while doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, you could realistically make an argument that James Harden should have 3 MVPs right now.
Yeah, he's in.
I mean,
that's the thing. If we did it that way, you can make a realistic argument that LeBron James has 14 MVPs right now.
Michael Jordan had an MVP for every season he played.
Yeah, exactly.
That Kobe Bryant should have 5 or whatever.
There's definitely cases to be made for all those players.
James Harden was in 3 straight very close MVP races. I don't think that's news to anybody. No, a lot of those, I think...
Bringing us back to that hot take from last episode that James Harden's a good basketball player.
Yeah, James Harden is a good basketball player. Dude, it's a circle of life.
Yeah.
But back to Patrick Beverley, do you think that taking $5,000 from a guy who's on a $40 million contract is really going to curb
it doesn't do
his,
anything. It's just to try and make the fans feel better about it, I guess.
But
show that,
I think
hey, we're doing something.
enough of those statistics have come out that like when somebody says like James or the NBA is or like a player's been fined $50,000 and it's like that would be like taking like $20 from a normal person, like from a person that makes $50,000 a year.
It's one of those things where it's enough to make you feel like, dang, but you don't care. You know?
Yeah, because you know that's not hurting their pockets. Yeah, like exactly. If they were like, yeah, we're gonna fine Patrick Beverley $1 million, I think everybody would be like, holy shit.
But that's also so much money. That'd also be like that's really excessive for one flop.
Yeah.
So they have to. It's a thin line like you gotta balance.
Yeah,
when you're finding players.
I don't really know what the. I don't really know what they do here because it's kind of a sticky situation because we haven't really seen like they started. I remember a couple years ago they were doling out a ton of fines for flopping. Mm-hmm. It kind of curbed it for a little bit. Like they kind of stopped giving out those fines, even though players were still flopping, and now it's back.
I think they're really only going to fine you when it's
egregious.
A super obvious, like you're not even trying to make it seem like an actual foul type of thing.
Because this is why I don't get why people hate players for flopping is if you watch an NBA basketball game, everybody on both sides does it.
Yeah.
I've seen flops from like Pacers before, and I'll be like, they probably shouldn't have got that foul.
Yeah.
I've seen flops from Bulls, Spurs, everybody flops. Everybody flops.
It's part of the game at this point.
It's part of the game.
But when you do it so obviously...
You're doing what you can to get 2 points or prevent the other team from getting a few points.
But here's the thing. When you do it to the point where it's so obvious that people who are trying to let you get away with the flop has to call it out, then, chill out a bit.
Yeah. Patrick Beverley, I'm so sorry you lost $5,000. Like, that's honestly disgusing that the NBA would even think about doing that.
Yeah, I mean...
What are you ever going to do? Are you going to, he's got to feed his family.
Pull Latrell Sprewell on. I got a family to feed.
Okay. We got 2 more big things to finish out the pod. Kemba Walker.
I'm really happy. Not because he's injured, but because it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been so much worse. When I saw that video...
For the people that haven't seen the clip, he basically ran headfirst into Semi Ojeleye or something. Yeah. And it was really scary.
It was at 12:30 at night. Yeah. I had just, I was getting, my teeth brushed and stuff. Got the Woj notification. Shout out Woj. I love you so much. Got the Woj notification. Again. I was sitting in my bathroom, and I watched the video, and I legitimately thought that we were seeing, somebody's career.
It was scary. Yeah, it was. I think it was a lot scary because he got carted off the court.
Well, when I saw it, actually, no, I didn't see the video. I got the tweet first, and I was like, fuck, Kemba Walker just broke his neck. I was like, he either got a severe concussion, he, slipped a disc or something in his back, he broke his neck, or something like that.
Yeah. I was a little less intense about it, but it did look bad. I think it looked a lot worse because he got carted off the court.
Yeah, and Kemba Walker, even though he plays for a team that I don't really necessarily like, I still really like Kemba Walker.
Kemba's a great guy.
Kemba Walker's a great dude. He's a great basketball player.
I like Jaylen Brown.
He's got some of the most iconic statistics, the most iconic shots in college basketball history.
Dude, imagine scoring 60 points in a game and still losing. You did that last season.
Dame Lillard. He and Dame Lillard clubbed together.
Yeah.
But Kemba Walker, what does this mean for the Celtics? Because
nothing. He's out for a few weeks. It means nothing. They'll be fine.
Does this mean that they stay cautious? They become more cautious with him?
No.
You don't think so?
He's fine.
He has what was it? A neck sprain? He's questionable.
He said he has a neck sprain and I think concussion-like symptoms. I think is what I saw. So it's not. He'll be back in a few weeks. It'll be
pretty uncommon basketball injuries.
Yeah, but here's a neck sprain. I had a friend. All right, funny story. Me and a few of my friends, we were all messing around on a trampoline. One of my friends landed weird. He had a neck sprain. He was fine in a few weeks. It's whatever. It's a common injury. It's easy to fix. It's not a big deal. He'll be fine in a few weeks, and everything will be back to normal.
That kind of makes me think, what are some, scary... What's, a really scary injury?
Patrick McCaw's injury that happened a few years ago when he just straight fell on his back.
Exact one that I was thinking of, when Vince Carter kind of got a little dirty there.
Yeah. Another one would be, something that happened, with Gordon Hayward or the Paul George injury and stuff like that.
Yeah, but those were, actual real, what's, a scary one that actually wasn't that serious? Patrick McCaw. Yeah. I don't think his ended up being, it was just kind of a stinger, I think.
Yeah.
But what was one like that?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Oh, Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert. I thought that Karis LeVert, like Sean Livingston, himself.
Yeah.
But it was just like a dislocation, and he was out for like 5 months.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that wasn't an injury, but it was super scary when I saw it was John Morant's fall, where he inverted his leg, and I was like, oh no.
He took that fall and he just got right back up and got back on defense.
But that happens all the time where you because it happens to regular people too, like where you just get hurt, like you get hit or something, and you just
Leandro Barbosa used to do that. Yeah, you remember him? He was awesome. I love that dude. Shout out Leandro Barbosa.
Shout outs. But I mean, it's just one of those things where it happens every now and then where you get something that should be a serious injury, and it's like it's whatever.
Yeah.
Vibing.
But Kemba Walker.
Good for him.
Good for him that he's not hurt. Like, good for everybody that he's not hurt. Because the NBA without Kemba Walker is a lot less exciting.
And a lot less happy.
The Celtics are probably a little worse without Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
Even though he had a shitty first game, they've won, 13-2, 12-2, something like that.
And he's been playing well, too. So.
Okay, so this is probably the biggest piece of news. The NBA is legitimately considering major changes.
Shortening the season by 4 games, adding a mid-season tournament and a postseason play-in.
So I'm a little more. So my hierarchy of sports that I like to watch is 1 and 2. It's football and basketball, and then down the list is baseball and hockey. I'll watch them around playoff time.
I basically only watch basketball.
Yeah, but. So that kind of leads into this is the playing game in baseball is super cool. Having a 1-game wild card to get into the playoffs is that's a cool thing to do. So I'd kind of like to see that. To see the 7 through 10 in each conference. How would this work? Would it be would it be the first 6 seeds are guaranteed to get in and then the 7 through 10 play each other in a mini tournament?
I don't know. They haven't really released anything specific about that, but I would assume it'd probably just be for the last, for the 8th seed maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about any of the specifics, but I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I like
because
that idea.
You always have those teams that sort of especially in the West when there'll be a team that's 2 games out of the playoffs. They have a little rough patch or an injury issue.
Like the Kings last year.
Yeah, they were I think they were a few games out.
They were but they also didn't have Marvin Bagley for a while.
That's true.
That is
just this season. Look at that. But yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. I think it's a little less effective in the West. You don't have to be, or in the East, because you don't even have to be 500 to get in the East. But
I don't really know how much I like the mid-season tournament.
Yeah, if you're shortening the season, adding a mid-season tournament,
you're still gonna play 82 games. You're just gonna do all of them in one day. It's 4 of them in one day, or 4 of them over a weekend.
Kind of counterproductive. I feel like if they shortened the season and got rid of because I know they wanted to keep their revenue.
And that's the other thing is I've heard rumors that the mid-season tournament would determine playoff seeding.
No.
Or determine home and away for the finals.
They should keep seeding the way
in baseball. For the World Series in baseball, the All-Star game decides which conference gets home and which conference gets away. So if the National League wins the All-Star game, then whichever National League team, no matter what their record is, if they go to the World Series and they're 10 games worse than the other team, they still get home field advantage.
I don't like it. Because then teams like the Blazers that go on post All-Star game runs get screwed over.
Yeah. It's a completely... It would be a terrible idea if they did
Plus, aren't there rumors going around that they are going to change up conference seeding anyway? They might get rid of conferences for the playoffs?
I
don't remember exactly what it was. I know they're talking about some sort of changes to seedings.
Where they would reseed every round or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Kind of what the WNBA does, I think.
Because if they did that, then having the mid-season tournament decide playoff seeding would be pointless anyway.
Well, I also hate that idea too, because it would just be West versus West every single year.
But that would make for more entertaining finals.
Maybe.
The games would be more entertaining than watching.
I guess I'd love to see a Clippers-Lakers final. That would be fucking awesome.
But even this season, if the Celtics or Sixers make it to the finals, that's still an entertaining game. Last season's championship was still entertaining, despite all the injuries.
Last season's championship was awesome.
Yeah.
Mostly because the Warriors didn't win.
The only reason the past few years hadn't really been entertaining was because it was 4 All-Stars versus 2
4 All-Stars versus LeBron.
Yeah, and then it was just sweep. It's whatever.
Just brooms.
Game 1 of 2018 was interesting.
Oh, man.
With J.R. Smith.
That's the reason that J.R. Smith is not on an NBA roster. I'm still convinced that people are just like, is he going to fucking do that again?
It was so bad.
Do we have anything else?
Vucevic is out for a few weeks.
Yeah, Vucevic.
Sucks.
That sucks, but
because the Magic are already not amazing.
But the Magic's best player is not Nikola Vucevic this year. It is
defensively. It's Jonathan Isaac. Offensively, it's still Vucevic.
Yeah, but Jonathan Isaac has like a better overall game because Vucevic is a complete non-factor on the defensive end, and Jonathan Isaac is maybe the best defender in the league right now. And even though Vucevic is like slightly better on offense,
a little, not like a different. He's not like.
He's not like
20
a different
points
tier
per game to 10 points per game, but it's
like 17 to 13.
Yeah, it's
or
noticeable.
Whatever.
But the Magic already suck as it is.
Yeah, so that little playoff push.
No.
What happened to that?
Aaron Gordon's not
getting a game on the champions. What happened to that?
Yeah, Aaron Gordon's not been amazing. Vooch hasn't.
Is Aaron Gordon ever been amazing though? Like I remember
he's that player where every single season. Everyone's gonna be like, "This is the year Aaron Gordon takes the jump."
People were putting way too much pressure on Brandon Ingram in his first couple of years. And
but here's the thing,
this is the year he breaks out. And he didn't break out.
Aaron Gordon's been in the league for a few years, and he's playing worse this season than he did in any of the previous seasons.
Yeah, I remember after his rookie deal, he was going to go into unrestricted free agency. I think.
Yeah,
or maybe it was restricted.
If it's after your rookie deal, I'm pretty sure it's restricted.
Yeah.
Unless you take
the Pacers were serious contenders to get him.
Happy they didn't.
And I'm very happy they didn't do that.
At the time, I was excited.
At the time, I wanted him so bad. Yeah. I was like, "This he's so good at dunking, and he might be an all-star." And now it's like, "Oh, he's pretty good at dunking." Like his ceiling feels like, maybe like a 17-8 guy on a fine team, like mediocre.
He's not amazing. Markelle Fultz has been playing pretty decent.
Markelle Fultz is like I kind of wrote off Markelle Fultz. I was like, I don't think he's ever going to be good. Like he's
still okay, but it's happy to see it. Like you like to see it from a player that's had.
He seems like there was maybe a mental issue going on there, and it was like
again, he's still not super amazing. Like he's not what we thought he would be coming into.
But he can get there. Like he's at least showing signs of being able to be that player.
Yeah, it's nice to see. And good for Markelle.
Yeah, good for Markelle. Shout out
Markelle Fultz.
Markelle Fultz.
Michael Carter-Williams still hasn't done anything. He's still on the Magic.
Is he ever going to do anything?
He had a few games last season on the Magic where he played all right.
I like Michael Carter-Williams.
I just wish he did well.
Yeah.
At all.
Shout out Michael Carter-Williams, too.
No.
No?
No. Not Michael Carter-Williams. I don't think he needs one.
You don't think he needs one?
Nope.
I think Michael Carter-Williams deserves
maybe just to make him feel better about sucking at basketball.
He doesn't suck. He's a fine backup.
No, he's
a fine back. He's a good backup on a bad team.
He's horrible.
He's not horrible.
He is terrible.
He's a good. If you were like, who was a good backup point guard for like? For like the Timberwolves, I'd be like, Michael Carter-Williams might be okay.
Dude, he's averaging 4.7 points per game.
How many minutes is he getting?
Hold on, 15.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Jesus,
and when you watch the games, you forget he's on the court because he's literally not doing anything. It's horrible. It's sad.
I remember that's probably the biggest argument we've ever had is I didn't think that Michael Carter-Williams really got a fair scratch in the NBA, and you were like, he's been in the NBA for like 5 fucking years.
Yeah. He's not good.
So, I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we have anything else to add.
No.
Zach LaVine basically mentally slapped Jim Boylan in the face last night.
Yeah, that was an insane shot. Like that's like, the 8 points in 9 seconds sequence. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like kind of like that. It was like, what was it? Like Thomas Satoransky hits a 3.
No, Zach LaVine hit a 3, stole the ball, and hit another 3.
No, I don't think that was him. Was it him?
I think so. I don't remember.
It was.
He had that 13 threes in that game too.
Yeah, he almost tied the record.
Mm-hmm. And outright the game after Jim Boylan benched him for like literally no reason because Jim Boylan sucks at coaching.
Yeah, he's gonna get Jim Boylan fired.
I hope he does. I would literally. Sign Dave Yeager, please.
Dave Yeager would be fucking incredible with that roster.
I know. It's great. I want Dave Yeager to coach the Bulls instead of
That would be
nice.
I didn't even think about that.
Because he still doesn't have a job.
Can you imagine Dave Yeager coaching Lauri Markkanen, Zach LaVine, Wendell Carter Jr., and
Kobe White?
Holy shit.
I'm wearing my Bulls hoodie right now. I know you guys can't see that, but I'm wearing my Bulls hoodie.
His mental image DT in a Bulls hoodie.
Yep.
I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. We got to record another.
Yeah, we're going to do one that's just segments for next weekend because I won't be here.
We got to probably brainstorm that. But we will be back the week after that with 2 weeks worth of news.
Mm-hmm. And we might do a small segment if we have time. But then the week after, we'll catch up on everything.
Yeah. So. This was a no-segment podcast.
Yep. Just news.
So that's probably what the next one will be. Shout out Markelle Fultz. Shout out
That's all
the other guys we shouted. I'm sure we shouted out more people. James Harden is a good basketball player. Hot take, Andre Drummond is a good basketball player. Yep. Love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for watching if you stayed this long. And
if you did, then that's pretty boss.
I think what? I checked
we actually had decent.
It was pretty good. I checked the analytics and one person made it to the end though. So
that's one more person that I thought would make it to the end.
That's actually fact. So if the one person, if you're here right now, thank you.
Yeah. All right. That's where we're gonna cut it off. Bye.
Yeah. See you guys.
Yeah. See ya.